Hello, welcome to my writing desk. My name is David Glenn. As a lover of fantasy, I've grown up loving worlds like Narnia and Middle-earth. One thing that always stood out to me about them was the inclusion of characters like Aslan and Eru Iluvatar. So when I started writing my own works of fantasy, I just knew that I had to do the same. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Kaye is a world set in a parallel universe, and in one of its continents, Talun, lies the kingdom of Canmore. It is here that a group of humans managed to set up a society in a world that is ruled by dinosaurs. Kaye didn't come into existence all on its own. At the dawn of time, it was created by a god, as discussed in my Introduction to Kaye video. In that video, we refer to him as the first. But, moving forward, we will refer to this god as Mwenki. No one knows if Mwenki manifested into existence on his own, but many cultures have their own origins for him. The Ruach flock, which are the main Nigeri flock in Talun, believe Mwenki used to be a star that died, but was reborn into its current form. This form can be best described as a phoenix-like entity. The main human clan of Mysane, the Shikobwe, have a different origin from Mwenki. They believe that Mwenki came from an egg that exploded when he hatched, and the mess resulted in the universe as it is today. In other words, a big, gooey Big Bang. Admittedly, there are humans in the various clans of Talun who believe Mwenki has a human form as they do. They also say that Mwenki existed before the dawn of time, and destroyed a world that was steeped in wickedness to create Kaye. The claims of these human supremacists are usually dismissed, though they refer to the Ruach's interpretation as Nigeri supremacy. To be fair, Mwenki has been known to appear in different forms, usually as to how the people would know him. As a result, different nations have different ways of seeing Mwenki and have even given him different names. Some nations see Mwenki as a giant pterosaur with wings that can block out the sky. Others see Mwenki as a feathered dragon. There are even some that depict him as having an animal head. Sometimes it's a theropod. Other times it's a Nigeri. Regardless, it's clear that Mwenki exists in some form in every religion across Kaye, even if they don't know that it is Mwenki they worship. Going forward, I will depict Mwenki as the Ruach flock does, as a phoenix. Even though not everyone sees Mwenki in person, he is present and active in the world of Kaye. Often, his word and will are given through visits of angelic beings known as Vodmu. They are seen as the reborn spirits of the righteous who were accepted by Mwenki into his domain of Dengadere, or the heaven of Kaye. The Vodmu usually communicate through visions and prophecies given to the spiritually attuned, though there are times when Mwenki will get involved himself. These events usually happen once every 1,000 years, give or take. More on this later. There are many in Kaye who see Mwenki as the one true god of their world. However, there are still plenty of people who choose to worship idols instead. Not just stone statues, but personal beliefs and ideologies count as well. There are also those who choose to abstain from worship altogether for a couple of reasons. Some are too dependent on miracles and divine manifestations, and others have chosen to rely on their own wisdom instead. Worshipping Mwenki works differently between the Nigeri and the Shikobwe. Due to having no centralized power, the Nigeri are more open about their worship, as they don't have preset customs and traditions. As long as one of their own isn't a threat to the flock or seen as trying to force someone to act against their will, anyone is seen as good and faithful to Mwenki. Humans are different. Due to not being able to fly away as the Nigeri can, they need spiritual leaders who can receive messages from the Vodmu. As a result, they have a more structured system when it comes to their worship practices, including a collection of divine laws that they need to obey. The Nigeri see this as a type of oppression, however, and often look down on this despite having their own version of spiritual leaders. It does help that there have been times in history where the spiritual laws were replaced with higher laws according to the righteousness of the people. Regardless, relationships between mortals and Mwenki are best described as familiar, specifically like between a parent and a child. Mwenki loves all who live upon Kaye and wishes to be part of their lives, and is pleased when people make an effort to include him in their lives. For the Ngeri, worship comes naturally to them. As they value freedom in their society, they try to allow people to grow as close to Mwenki as they want. There are those who believe that as they were created by Mwenki's own feather and ashes, as well as the wind from his wings, that they already have a good relationship with Mwenki. But again, as long as they don't oppress anyone or try to hurt someone, nothing is really done. As mentioned before, humans tend to follow a set of rules when it comes to their worship of Mwenki. Their system puts an emphasis on being good, honorable, and compassionate. This flows from some of their core values like community and order. While humans do build temples for certain rituals and rites, true worship is done in their homes. Praying throughout the day and trying to be the best version of oneself as possible are the simplest examples of how they worship Mwenki. There are consequences for breaking Mwenki's laws, but they are rare as Mwenki is merciful and forgiving. There are, however, times when he will punish people for sin and wickedness. This usually comes in the form of the people's strength failing them in battle. Essentially, if the people turn against Mwenki and refuse to repent, he will allow their enemies to defeat them. However, there are times when this has happened regardless, and was explained to be a test of the people's faith in him. As mentioned before, usually Mwenki will do something major every 1,000 years or so. This usually happens when people become truly wicked. This takes the form of a natural disaster, though sometimes it affects the people directly, like changing a group's physical appearance. Punishment also comes in the form of self-pity, as people will mark themselves to separate themselves from Mwenki. It is important to note that not every natural disaster is the wrath of Mwenki. Sometimes it just comes down to plain bad luck. Regardless, whenever Mwenki is left with no choice but to enact punishment, it comes because of sin. Now, there are those who claim that Mwenki is a cruel god due to how severe his punishments have been. However, Mwenki never takes action until it is too late for the people to repent. He sends the Vadmu and his servants to warn the people of what will happen because he does not want to punish them. Mwenki wants to forgive and help the people change. However, it is when they refuse and continue to sin like nothing had happened that Mwenki is left with no choice but to take action. Indeed, people are often surprised with how merciful and forgiving Mwenki can be. Those who repent and desire to turn away from sin find a merciful God who accepts them with open wings. Some even have spoken of experiences where they sought to change their ways only to be engulfed by flames. These fires don't hurt the people and serve to purge the evil from a person's heart. Often, those who go through this become the most spiritual and righteous people of a nation. Whenever Mwenki himself comes to the people, he is noted for spending time among those who are sick or in a bad spot. Whether it's a physical ailment or a mental one, Mwenki spends his time with them. Even those who are deemed incurable by people have found themselves completely healed by Mwenki. And for those suffering in the heart, Mwenki helps by being a friend and brother for them. Those people often find themselves becoming the most charitable and kind to their neighbors. Now, in addition to being merciful, Mwenki is also known to have a sense of humor. Yeah, that's right. Mwenki has a sense of humor. Most people do not expect this from the god of everything, but Mwenki does love to laugh and encourages people to laugh as well. Not at the expense of others, but as a way to grow closer together. He also helps lift people's spirits when they are down. Indeed, Mwenki loves everyone smiling. Thank you Keenan Taylor and Professor Lambio VT for providing the artwork used in this video. If any of you want to follow them, links will be provided in the description box below. And thanks to viewers like you for watching this video. Thank you. I also want to give a special shout out to Werbus and Marie Mulaney of Just in Time Worldbuilding for their help. The videos they provided on doing gods has really helped with this video, so thank you for that. Also, if you are interested, I will provide a link in the description below to Just-in-Time World Building so you can check out some of the videos there too. I also recommend that you sign up for membership because you'll get access to some great things. I also wanted to thank Flotties Forever for providing me with the questions that I answered in this video. It really helped a lot, so thank you. Tune in next month to learn about the Najeri, Mwenki's own creation and the original inhabitants of the world of Kaye. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a happy Easter, everyone.